All right, it's
Hey.
it's the world famous KROQ. I'm Nicole Alvarez, and I'm joined by Beck, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey. Hello.
I feel like I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Really?
I've been at KROQ for
Wow.
16 years, and you have
No
come by
way.
and spoken to everybody but me.
Except you.
Yeah.
What the hell?
What the
What
F?
happened?
Beck, I'm going to tell you
We're
a
like
little.
sliding doors, ships in the night, passing
Yeah,
trains.
but this is our
that
moment.
This
This is our moment. Yeah, we're going to be here a while.
This is what everything's been building
Yeah,
up to this
get
moment.
comfy.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, I just need you to listen to this little tale.
Okay.
Because I thought of you. I have a friend, and we were driving, and it was LA rain, and the windshield wipers were annoying me.
Right.
And his name is Eric. I love him very much. And he said, if it sounds like noise, listen for the music. And it was because that was an interview that Trent Reznor gave, and he said, if it sounds like noise, listen for the music.
Yeah.
And I realized that there's some artists that live their lives, and they hear life in song. And you're one of those artists to me that can find like a beat in the mundane, or you can observe things lyrically. And I've always wanted to know when you formed your relationship with music, your forever
Weird.
relationship.
Yeah, it's, making music, it's my life, so you take it for granted in some ways. But every once in a while, when I hear something like what you just said, you realize that, yeah, it is kind of weird. For me, it's normal. There's like a radio station playing all the time. Like I hear music all the time.
You hear music all the time. I wonder just at what age, what's the first time that you realized that?
Like I would hear the windshield wipers, and I would start to hear a bass line and like horn parts.
Did you grow up? Were you in awe of your family? Because your father, by the way, who I just found out, contributed to the iconic Tapestry by Carole King.
Yeah.
And your mother, who would kick it with like Edie Sedgwick and Andy Warhol. Your grandfather, who's endlessly fascinated. Were you aware of your surroundings, or was it when you were an adult that you were like, this is why I'm the way that I am?
More as an adult, yeah. When I was a kid, it was just sort of, people living their lives, But as a kid, I didn't grow up around Warhol or anything. That stuff happened way before I was born. So
didn't you see a picture of her later in your life, and she's like shoving a burger into her mouth?
Recently, yeah. So she used to say, she used to tell us stories. Like she knew Andy Warhol and was in his movies, and we're like, oh, that's interesting. And then years and years later, pictures started showing up online that she's actually there.
Yeah, with like Edie Sedgwick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Blown
They're
my
actually
mind.
photos,
You've spent the better part of your life in Los Angeles, so I want to ask you.
How about you? Are you from LA?
I was born in Miami, and I've lived here for 16 years.
Okay.
But there's something. The second that you're here, this is home now.
Right. Yeah.
This is where I should have been born. So
People come to LA and they can't leave.
No, especially if you find your misfit family, and if you find the right groove, then you never want to leave here.
Right.
But since you know it so well and you grew up here, what still excites you about LA, and where do you find the romanticism or the magic in it?
It was such a vast city. I mean, you can be a tourist in your own city and still never see the end of it.
Still am.
I mean, I've been there my entire life. There's sections of town I've never been to. You know what I mean? And lately what I've been doing is trying to find these kind of old school restaurants and bars that should have closed 30 years ago and are somehow still alive.
Yeah.
And,
Where do you grow up in Westlake?
I grew up actually near downtown, kind of towards East LA.
Is there anything about Los Angeles that breaks your heart?
Well, it is a city that kind of eats itself. Like it's constantly... We're tearing down huge parts of the city and building new things,
Bigger,
which keeps
fancier,
it
shinier.
vibrant, keeps it evolving. But at the same time, it's sort of sad to see. You'll see whole blocks that are gone, And we're going through a time like that right now in LA. I think everybody knows. You can see all the construction, all the traffic from the construction. So it's sad to see some of the old stuff go.
But you can still feel the heartbeat underneath all of it.
Yeah, and there's certain areas, little pockets, little flashes of the old LA.
So if you were to put your 14 albums next to each other, would that paint a very clear picture of who you are as a person, or could that piece your life together? Or if you just lay them all next to each other, 14 is a pretty long run, and they're incredibly different and equally fulfilling. But if you lay them all out, what do they say to you?
I think it's pretty scattershot. I mean, it's definitely it's a wide exploration of things. You know, I don't know. I feel, to me, when I see all the records lay out, it doesn't feel complete yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's sort of half of a story.
Do you think that people underestimate you?
Oh, that's a hard question to know. I mean, I don't know. It's probably a mix of under and over.
I do definitely think that you're constantly surprising people.
Yeah, okay.
Different sounds and artists that you work with,
Yeah.
and they look at you. People are very big on just like what they perceive something based on like what you look like. So they based on what you
That's
look
true.
like. If you're just blonde and blue eyed from LA, they expect one thing, but you come out with like these beats and these jams, and they're like, oh, look at homeboy go. The new record, Hyperspace, it makes me feel like I'm roller skating through the Milky Way. I love it so much.
That's a good way. I think that should be a quote on the album.
Roller skating, thank you.
Makes me feel like I'm roller skating through the Milky Way. Yeah, that's a good quote.
Do you have a favorite song on the album?
Well, I like Dark Places. We played that for the first time last night. And Chemical is probably my favorite.
What about Die? Is it Die Trying?
Die Waiting.
Die Waiting.
Yeah, I like that one too.
So is that a love song? Because somewhere in the middle it starts to hurt a little bit, but then it still ends. You're waiting for this love, and I don't want to get too personal. I'm not going to pry, but I want to know a little bit about that song.
I think like any song. I mean, these days I try to do it in a way where it's simple, in that it could be a song about a friend. It could be a song about.
There's a yearning to it.
A love, somebody you lost or somebody you're hoping to meet. It can be a lot of different things.
Is it frustrating?
But it's sort of that pledge, to somebody that I'm going to wait for you, whether they're lost or you haven't found them, or.
Is it frustrating as an artist that some people try and read into your personal life just based on lyrics? Like, how hard is it to be as vulnerable as you are with your lyrics? Because people automatically assume that they try and dissect your life based on what you're being brave enough to say.
Yeah, that's a hard one, because I feel like it's so hard to fit your life into a song. I mean, there's people who are great at it. Joni Mitchell is great at it. Certainly
the great storytellers.
Yeah. But
you don't suck, by the way.
So
You're
I
pretty
feel like
good.
I think there's flashes of my life in there, but to sort of encapsulate the whole thing would be. It's going to take me a while to figure out how to do that.
You have a very unique energy, and I don't know, walking down the street, there's not a person that wouldn't go, that's Beck. So how do you separate?
I feel pretty invisible in LA, actually.
I would not amongst my people.
I'm in the supermarket. Nobody's.
Seriously? They're just not,
they're just my
not telling
avocados,
you.
and people are like, yeah, whatever.
But how do you separate being like rock star Beck and then Beck Hansen when you just want to be a regular average guy?
That's a weird question, because I just don't. Yeah, I don't really live that way. Although last night we did a good. That was a pretty good try at the Rock Star. We were in Vegas. We played a show in Vegas, and we were out with
Intersection.
Yeah, and we were with Anderson .Paak and Leon Bridges, and we were doing karaoke. Way too late. Yes.
Oh my God, that's the best story ever.
Really, that's why I'm drinking the green tea over here, and yeah.
Is there anything left in the Beck universe that you have not explored yet that you would like to try your hand at?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of things. It's weird. My whole studio thing is like a laboratory. I'm working on things for years, trying to crack the code on certain things, and sort of waiting for the right time, And when the time is right, it's like, okay, we're going that direction. I have like a half a dozen things I really would love to do.
Do you feel like a necessity to always make music, or does it come in waves?
I feel like I put so much of my energy into performing and touring. So yeah, when I do get time and I feel recharged to get inspired in the studio, I just try to get as much as I can done. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you one more question from me. Are artists ever interested in what a fan's favorite song of theirs is? Like, do you ever ask? Nobody's ever asked like what song.
I think that's what Spotify is. Spotify has a top 10 right there. I mean, before that, you had no idea. You're like, I don't know what people like. Is New Pollution
but do you
a really
care?
popular song?
Yeah,
I think that's a popular
Does it
song.
matter? Are you interested in that information?
I'm curious. Yeah.
Because I can tell you mine.
Really?
I've been
Tell me
dying
yours.
to.
Well, that's the weird thing about the new record. I've been texted by dozens of friends and they each have a different song that they like on the record.
Die Waiting is the jam, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
but
that's the jam?
No,
Okay.
but my favorite song of yours is what I need to tell you.
Okay.
It's Time Bomb, and here's why.
Time Bomb, wow.
You know when a song is perfectly placed in like a TV show or movie?
Yeah.
It was
What
the
was it
height,
in?
True Blood.
True
And
Blood,
it was
okay.
the best, arguably
Yeah.
the best episode of True Blood that I've ever seen. And
Wow.
when the episode ended, it went fade to black, and Time Bomb started playing. And I remember everybody in the room was like, "What just happened?" So that feeling, it's just a fantastic song, and I think I listened to it like 50 times a week still.
You know, I was working on a remix of it. I was going to do for like a greatest hits or something like that.
You were or you
Yeah,
are? Because
I'm
I would
working
like
on
to
that.
hear are.
I'm working on like
Okay.
new and improved.
Can you like mention me in the liner notes when you
I will,
just say
yeah.
this is for Nicole?
Yeah.
See how I snuck that in there?
Yeah, that's gonna have to go in.
You have a show to put on, and I could sit here and talk to you forever. However,
I'm feeling very at home in this world.
it's my little
in
secret
this-
igloo.
In this igloo world.
So mind blowing of sitting here with Beck, who's like the soundtrack of my life. Like I can't look at you right now, Beck.
Okay.
I can't look at you. I just want to say thank you. I could talk to you for
Thank
hours.
you. Thank you for being so sweet and
you're
hospitable
welcome.
in
You're
your
welcome.
polar vortex over here.
I want to ask you about, and maybe
Yeah.
I'll do it off the air, but you went to an exhibit at LACMA in November that I read about in the New Yorker.
Yeah.
What was the artist name?
Christian Markley.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody in LA, go see that show. It's
Is it
amazing.
still on?
Yeah, it's so speaks to the moment of these
technology.
smartphones. And he's made art out of smartphones.
Well, there's the room that you went into that had all the cell phones hanging, and you sang a Johnny Cash song into it, and then it'd send you like a naked Portuguese man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do my reading, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we could talk for hours. So I'm gonna let you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Beck.
Okay.
Yay!
Hey.
I'm Nicole Alvarez, and we are live from our igloo at KROQ's Absolute Almost Acoustic Christmas. Okay, bye.
All right.
Yay.
Okay, yay. Hey.